Greetings and welcome. Thank you for stopping by. I made it. Thank you for stopping by here on YouTube Live at The Real Bloom from Within Love. I go by Bloomy and I made it. I told you guys on TikTok that I would do the best I can to get in here and there and to do some things for you guys, especially since I know that for the next few days or so, I won't be able to do the more in depth readings for you guys. And so there's a lot going on. And it's a good thing, but it's still just a lot. It's a lot happening. And with that being said, I'm not really in the position at this time to do all the nice full layouts and spreads that I do, or the Reiki healing sessions and all the other goodies. But I am able though to here and there kind of stop when I can and kind of deliver either some messages, stories, motivations, whatever I feel comes to me, whatever is happening. And yes, I am aware. Okay, first of all, let me just say thank you for stopping by. If you're new, anything you need to know about me should be listed in the description box. Okay, to you returning folks, YouTube is growing daily. And those that are coming in divinely guided on high vibe energy, I just want to say I appreciate you. I do. Those that have always been here under that energy, I just want to say that I appreciate you. All of those that actually have positive, loving, high vibrational, truly benevolent frequency, thoughts, intentions, energies towards me or bloom from within love and what I do. May you get that where you need it the most, right? Okay. So, yes, I know you're looking at a screen. I am aware that you're looking at the cheetah. You're looking at this cheetah, leopard, whatever it is, right? It's one of Bloom from Within Love's signatures. It's one of my signature energies that I embody, so it became a theme, okay, of Bloom from Within Love. So I thought it'd be fitting to do something cutesy since, I am about and doing a lot of things. And like I said, I'm not able to do the readings right now, but I still want to share. I still want to connect. I still want to be helpful. And so share this. I want to say it's either cheetah or leopard print. Um, Thought it would be fitting as I share the story of blooming. And when I say the story, it's ever unfolding, you guys. The story goes on. And I mentioned to you all that I will be sharing more and more as time proceeds. I'm going to unfold more and more because there's so much to the story. There's no way I can simply sit in 30 minutes or an hour and, tell you guys everything. It's just not possible. So basically, I'll just be sharing in bits and pieces here and there how I'm guided. And I feel like each time I know there's going to be some folks that are going to be able to get help from that in some way. That's how it works, right? So my things, you guys, are unscripted. So I don't sit for 30 minutes or an hour prior writing out a script, in terms of what I want to say. All right. The only time that I do that is when I'm doing poems or rhymes or raps and things like that because, I'm trying to stay on top of what I'm really doing here. But anything outside of that, I go by my guidance and my heart. And then when I come on, it's just however it's going to come out. So forgive me if, it's not as polished or professional and in terms of what folks expect with all of that. Okay. That's not my goal at this time. Okay. So now, with that being said, the story of Bloomy, there's bits and pieces that came to mind today. So I feel like maybe I should just share the bits and pieces that came for today. Now, you guys hear me talk about, my journey. I did a lot of videos on TikTok pertaining to this ascended journey, twin flame journey, uh, the things that happened in it, and yada, yada, right? Now, the twist and turn in my particular story, this is not going to be for everybody, but the twist and turns in the plots of my story is that somehow, some way, um, my karmic family, as well as the counterparts, karmic friends and family, were both heavily involved from the very beginning of the dynamic between me and my twin flame. There's all these weird twists and turns. And so that's what makes it a little bit complicated. And I don't like to share much at once and then only when I'm guided. When my twin flame and I broke up last time, I'm going to tell you guys some stories about some of the stuff that happened afterward. The phone calls I got, the messages I got, all of these different things, which I come to know now were karmics, were in part some of them, it was my family. The other things was, their family, their friends, and perhaps some of their other karmic lovers. Because as I told you guys, in my story, it wasn't just one karmic or one person. He had several. Okay. It is his family, it was his friends, it was his exes, it was other women, it was so he was pretty convoluted in that way. He himself was operating out of his shadow. Okay. So it would the twisted dynamic is then all this stuff was being conspired behind my back. He was conspiring and working with my behind my back. So I'm going to tell you guys certain things that happened and that was brought back to my remembrance to like bring it all together. That had been going on for a long time. Okay? So, first and foremost, let me go back a little before we broke up. Right before we broke up, I want to say within that last week, he would say things that, it was my English and my guides probably, but he was saying things that was kind of like, okay, I knew there was some spell work being done. I could sense it. I felt it. I knew he was under some kind of heavy. It was heavy. Um, but he would say things, you know, that I'm like, okay, where's that coming from? Because I'm like, it just wasn't sitting well. So of course I went into my default setting since I knew he was up to fuck shit. So I lied too. That I know. That I admitted, I think a while ago on another video. And I told you guys it's ill advised unless you really know how to get through all of that. Essentially, don't go into it. When you sensing that there's some foul play, just really get out. Don't step into your Hioka. My Hioka kicked in pretty strong. So I reflected his fuck shit. He was being deceptive. He was lying. He was sneaky. He was going behind my back the entire time. And I knew it. And I had given him too many chances to be straight. And so since he wouldn't, I lied too. Because it's like, part of me is like, that's what you get for you're trying to get truths out of me, but you're dishonest. That's how I felt. I felt like he was so hard trying to get truths out of me, but he himself was being dishonest. He himself had, shit up his sleeve. He himself was doing shady shit. And I knew it. I just couldn't put it all together, but I knew it. So then, okay. One time, I think we were in my car and we were having a conversation. Every time he deals with karmics, I remember this. He turns into a whole nother person. That heavy spell work, that chaos and conflict. Essentially, he was taking on the energies of not only his shadow, but also of these karmics. Okay. And he would get with me, we'd start all these fights for no reason, start fights so it'll provoke me to break up, start, all these little attacks. And one time we were in a car and we were having a discussion. And he said something dumb and snarly, and it was about childhood or parenting or kids or money or something to that effect, right? And he made some kind of comment like, you know, he was like, you know, they said, or somebody said that, that's just like my mom or whatever, you're saying I shouldn't do this or shouldn't do that for my kids or whatever. And then he said something about my parent. And I said, wait a minute. I stopped right there. And I remember this conversation because at that point I knew, I was like, that was so twisted and convoluted. And I looked at him, I said, you know what? I said, first and foremost, I was like, don't come to me no more. Um, Talking to me and complaining about your family, about your kids, about your money, and about all of this, and asking me, for advice and then twist, what I'm saying to you and then go back to other people. I said, don't come at me no more with that. I said, and also, okay, so we got to this argument. I was like, look, I'm like, ain't nobody even said that. I'm like, but you got to get your shit together. You need to get your life right. Being a good parent ain't about buying, you know what I'm saying, fucking iPhones and shit like that. It's about being able to get into a place of being a responsible parent, which means this. There are times that we can't always get what we want. That's a part of parenthood. It's not a part of, that whole buying. That's what the guilty parents do. They think that if they can buy their kids a lot of shit, that they're being a good parent, but can't seem to be able to take care of them. Somebody else got to have their kids. You know what I'm saying? So I was kind of like, don't come at me. And then he said something about me and my son. So I really went in because I'm like, my attitude about that was I wish a motherfucker would. Because until you walk my shoes, you need to shut the fuck up. And so, um, he had made a comment and was like, I don't know what he do. I don't know, what he do if he just sits there. My son is an adult, by the way, unlike, his children at the time or the people that were talking to him. You know what I'm saying? But he's an adult and he's an high function autistic. Um, so anyway, and I was like, what the fuck? I looked at him, I was like, I handle mine. I said, so I suggest you like not even say nothing because you ain't even, what I'm saying? Like I was pissed. I was like, don't even, you know, um, don't even go there because at least I'm dealing with mine. What about you? It ain't about buying them with no $600 or whatever the fuck. Who are you? You know what I'm saying? So I went in. I was like, uh, uh. But as I listened to him, you guys, looking back at that, it was under the influence of a few things. It actually was. And I'm not excusing him by no means. So don't think that I'm trying to say he's not responsible. He is because he was in his shadow and his programming, of course. So, but he, this whole time, had been talking to my family behind my back. And they have been trying to paint this picture of me, right? I knew that. And I knew it. What I'm saying is, I knew it based on now, like as I look back, I knew it was something to it. And now it's come full circle. So I know now, right? But I knew that it was influenced by something. I'm like, something's not right here. I'm like, whether it was his ex girlfriend, baby mama, I don't give a fuck. I was like, whoever it was, I was like, first and foremost, you shouldn't be talking to people. So I went in on them on that. I'm like, so don't come at me no more because you shouldn't be, you know what I'm saying? That's immature, some dumb shit right there. You're off right there. Problem number one. Number two, you know what I'm saying? Whoever you're getting whatever's influencing you is jealous and is envious and don't know me and need to shut the fuck up. And if they do know me, they're lying. Okay? They're lying. And you know, the audacity. This is the story of Bloomy, her journey, discovering these karmics. Okay, because this is kind of behavior that karmics participate in. Okay, they're very snaky and cowardly. Okay, these would be the same people that will call you and be like, "Oh, we just wanted to say hi and happy birthday, and we just want to make sure you're okay." And it's those are the same people that then they go behind the scene and saying, we're just concerned, they don't know. They're so full of shit. So full of shit. So I discovered that, Eureka. And chances are they were attacking my parenthood because they were lousy parents. Ding, look at ding dong confirmation. Lousy parents themselves. So they projected all of that onto me, especially the reason why all of that worked is because these people, my family, and unfortunately, when you're dealing with people who are pretentious in terms of my twin flame, his family and friends operate in a lot of that pretension, that arrogance, that, false sense of supremacy, what I'm saying? That those sorts of energies, because I struggled, there was this judgment, I was going through financial struggles at that time. And, you know, it's normal and we all go through it. Now, the irony is, so we're all they asses. And that's why I kind of shook my head. I'm like, these motherfuckers, like, I got pissed off at first at some point because I was like, how? I'm like, if I haven't seen double standard hypocrisy ever, I seen it now because they asses. You know what I'm saying? And if they had shit, it was some criminal shit. I'm gonna keep it on a 100. So, it kind of bugged me that people they themselves be sitting in some type of a struggle of sorts, have the nerve, what I'm saying, to so-called kind of pronounce some kind of judgment on somebody because they ain't living on no fake ass, fake ass stunting. You know what I'm saying? At the cost of selling your soul and all your family members, you know? So I was like, okay, you need to shut the fuck up. So he and I had an argument because I was like, shit, because I knew him. See, the thing about our dynamic was it's kind of like, oh, you make out all these other motherfuckers fool, though, but I didn't see you up close and personal. And as the twin flame, I know you. So don't come at me with that shit. I done been up in you and your daddy's house. Don't come at me with that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, like knowing the story, it's like, okay, I worked hard every day. At that time, he didn't even have, no